Services and Disability Services.
Deputy Speaker. Mr Deputy Speaker, if those on the opposition benches, if the member for Macarthur want to support the vulnerable in our community, if they want to support the hard workers, then they will support the coalition policies, because the coalition policies are spending more money on childcare reform, they're spending more money on the workers and they're spending more money on the families in our country. Mr Deputy Speaker, unlike Labor's shambolic childcare policy, which on their watch saw fees absolutely skyrocket, the coalition government is putting $2.5 billion back into the sector. Opposition didn't do that. We are delivering a fundamentally fair package that provides the highest rate of subsidy to those on the lowest income levels, with more hours of subsidy for those who work the most. That is what is called fundamentally fair. The coalition is increasing the base subsidy from around 72% to 85% for more than 370,000 families earning around $66,000 or less a year. Low and middle income families earning up to around $186,000 will no longer be limited by an annual cap on the amount of childcare they can access. That's more than 85% of families using childcare. Families earning more than $186,000 will also benefit from an increased annual rebate cap of $10,190. Introducing hourly rate caps recommended by the Productivity Commission will help put downward pressure on fee increases will support our policies if you want to fix it, by setting a limit on what hourly fee the government will subsidise based on an efficient price of what it costs to deliver childcare. $1.2 billion childcare safety net. It doesn't start till the 1st of July. Support this policy if you want to support hard-working men and women in Australia, hard-working families, the vulnerable in our community. Mr Deputy Speaker, the coalition government's increasing Australia's investment in early childhood education. We're not cutting it. Once again, another scaremongering campaign from those on the other side, probably suited to the campaigns and the by-elections where they're not going down too well, because the coalition government is delivering an extra $2.5 billion over the next 4 years, which will help more than 1 million Australian families. Low and middle-income families will be the greatest beneficiaries from this package. Mr Deputy Speaker, the opposition leader has always been big on promises and short on delivering. Instead of attempting to govern in the interests of their union puppets, the opposition should be considering how they should serve their constituencies and the families in their constituencies. On penalty rates, it was the Leader of the Opposition who, as Employment Minister, established the Fair Work Commission. It was the Leader of the Opposition who, as the Employment Minister, appointed a former trade union leader as a commissioner of the Fair Work Commission. It was the Leader of the Opposition who instigated the 4-yearly review of penalty rates by the Fair Work Commission. And it was the Leader of the Opposition who said he would accept the decision of the Fair Work Commission. He publicly went out there and said he would accept, the opposition would accept the decision of the Fair Work Commission. But now, after 39 days of hearings, after 143 witnesses, after more than 6,000 submissions, and the Fair Work Commission has handed down in February last year a 500-page decision. But the Leader of the Opposition doesn't like the decision. He doesn't like the decision made the body he set up. He appointed the commission and he said accept the decision. So he doesn't like it. So he spat his dummy. He thinks it's fair. The Leader of the Opposition and the Opposition—
The member for Burt is warned.
They think it's fair that the local hot chicken shop should pay $8 more an hour for their workers than KFC, because the opposition support the big end of town for all their protestations. The opposition think it's fair that the local mum and dad hot food shop should pay $8 an hour more on Sundays for their workers than the workers at McDonald's. The opposition think it's fair that the local hardware shop should pay more for their workers than the workers at Bunnings, because the opposition don't support hard-working Australians. Mr Deputy Speaker, the coalition government is delivering record economic growth and record jobs. Unlike the opposition, we are the friends of the families and workers of Australia. It is no wonder the tree
The
at
minister's time has
Balcaldon
expired,
died.
and I call the member for Richmond.